Now live from Austin, Texas, here's Alex Jones.
Welcome and thank you for joining us on this live Sunday edition, already the 16th of November, 2008. I appreciate the listeners of this radio broadcast, especially during NFL football season, who tune in to this transmission, who actually care about the future of the country and the world more than they care about bread and circuses. Not attacking football, ladies and gentlemen. We just have a criminal world government openly set up, world government openly being announced, the bankruptcy of our families, our community, our country, mass oppression by design being orchestrated by the New World Order criminal syndicate so they can fully bankrupt our society. And the average American is starting to get a little bit more concerned about it, but still they're more upset about their football team losing than the fact that we have a eugenicist government that is putting poisons in the water by design to sterilize us and brain damage us. And yes, I have the government documents. Yes, I've made films on the subject. Yes, they're really doing it. Yes, truth is stranger than fiction. A lot of news here to cover today. I'm going to cover a lot of news on the radio show today on this abbreviated Sunday edition. I do 4 hours weekdays, come in on Sundays and do 2 hours. And again, appreciate you joining us. I have two large stacks of news here. Here's the type of headlines I have. Fake TV news, widespread and undisclosed. Now, about 4 years ago, the Congressional Budget Office did a big investigation and said the White House alone was in one purchase program buying $1.8 billion a year in fake news. But total, the White House was spending more than $10 billion a year for fake news. Now, these are news packages. They have the local news readers on radio, TV, and in print. They change them up just a little bit, put their name in, put the locale in. And if you go read the Center for Media and Democracy's report, the Congressional Budget Office's reports on this in the last 4 years, there's a new one out just last Friday, you will see what the news reports are. It's the announcement that it's the law to take vaccines and that you'll be arrested if you don't. There is no law. That's just one of thousands of things the government pays for. Private corporations pay for fake news, too. And this is the big, dirty secret of radio and TV. This is the big, dirty, big, dirty secret. Because most of it is government. A large portion, though, is, of course, a large portion, around 30%, depending on which study you look at, is corporations, mainly drug companies. So you'll hear a newscast telling you how great it is to join the military. Or you'll hear a newscast about how great it is that the police are setting up warrantless checkpoints everywhere. Well, the state police in major states have budgets, and they pay to have that on the air. And this is how America really works. So this is a big issue. This is a very big issue. Fake TV news, widespread and undisclosed. The story's up on Infowars.com from the Center for Media and Democracy. It says investigators captured 77 TV stations actively disguising sponsored content from companies including General Motors, Intel, Pfizer, Capital One to make it look like their own reporting. More than 1/3 of the time, stations aired fake news stories in their entirety as their own opening reporting. Yeah, I remember 3 years ago, I saw one and I went and pulled up the congressional report, and they didn't catch all of it, but it was in there. And I saw these newscasts locally, but I saw the same newscast, all across the nation. Thanks to YouTube and Google, I could Google that headline that was on a local TV station here in Austin, the name of the piece, and then it was Medical Watch. And then I could go and see that all across the country. And I went, oh, bingo, that was paid for. And then boom, sure enough, telling you mercury is good for your brain. I mean, come on, folks. That the government is paying to tell you that mercury is good for your brain. It's all off the charts. I mean, do you understand how deep you are under propaganda? Do you understand how thick it is? How serious it is, how pervasive it is, I mean, how un-American this is, how dangerous and deceptive, and I would add illegal. The courts have found, Congress has reported, that every time the executive branch or any of the agencies, Department of Education, billions on fake news and propaganda, Department of Labor, billions. I mean, just the executive alone, $10 billion a year. And so when you see newscasts telling you Barack Obama's the savior and loves you and lying to you, a lot of it was paid for. When you saw news reports about how great torture was and how George Bush is mankind's savior, or when you see news reports about how gun ownership is bad, most of those are paid for. The government takes your money, my money, and they send it back to the local TV, radio, and newsprint, but it's mainly TV. They even do it on national TV. They even pay millions of dollars per movie. Here's an example of the movie Anger Management. Came out a few years ago, and you kept seeing Army of One billboards in the background and pro, join the Army messages in the film. You can go pull up the number. It was in the news. It was several $1 million, and that was more than $2 million paid just to have that in there. So start being aware that you are bombarded by propaganda on every single front, everywhere. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I have probably 60, 70 articles in front of me. Each one is just as important as what I just covered here. And that's my great frustration. That's why I start yelling and screaming and getting angry. Because, I could spend the next 2 hours just on this, explaining how historically this is so horrible and how dangerous this is. Now, they call it product placement, but I call it propaganda placement when government is 70% or more of the spending. That's why almost every Hollywood movie, you see a movie, that's got anti-gun messages. It was paid for. Because the government is rogue, is criminal. They want to rob your pension funds. They want to enslave you. They want to control you. They want to dumb you down, so they have a move to demonize gun ownership. They want to train you to answer police questions, to be pulled over at checkpoints, to have secret police spying on you, to have interaction with the police. So they're brainwashing the cops and everybody else with all these SWAT team shows and movies and shows like Cops where they only show you white trash who are always guilty. All of this is programming. The cops are brainwashed. The public's brainwashed. Meanwhile, criminals run the government. We're going over a cliff. And the public's been fooled to think, at least some of them, that Barack Obama is real change because he is a Democrat or because he's got darker skin than George Bush. Meanwhile, the Barack Obama has announced they're continuing all the warrantless wiretapping, the spying on Americans. They've now announced, and I have the video clip from CNN here in front of me. I'll give you the headline later if you want to pull up the actual video clip and the story that accompanies it. It's up on prisonplanet.com right now. And they just said, the Patriot Act will now be used in all non-terror related. There will be no due process, no Bill of Rights for general citizens. And the government will spy on you in non-terror related cases, even non-crime related cases. And then I just happened to turn on PBS today, and I probably watch maybe an hour of TV a day when I'm exercising in the garage on the treadmill or on the stair stepper. And I watched 30 minutes of some show called Fueled on PBS, KLRU here in Austin. But it was a national show with Robert Kennedy Jr. and the rest of them up there. And he just said point blank, we're gonna take the people. He's going to be in the Obama administration. Everybody losing their job and making part of new environmental cops and tattletale squads. I mean, there it was. I can't even turn the TV on without just propaganda everywhere. Look, there's a powerful elite. They have high-tech advertising technologies. They have neutralized the public with the public just drooling, and they're moving against us to take all your pension funds and to tax every action you take, okay? We're going to come back, cover it all. You don't want to miss this broadcast. Stay with me.